We are at the trade deadline right now. We have not heard any moves by the Broncos. Big question of the day. You okay if the Broncos don't do anything, or do you think they missed out on an opportunity? We'll get you updated with all the trades that have happened, but let's just start there. Where are you with what the Broncos have, or apparently at this moment have not done?
Yeah, I'm fine if they don't make a move. I would have got excited if they did. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've got a really special season going on. You got 7 wins. You only got 2 losses and an opportunity to be a 13 or 14 win team. When you've got a season like that, that's when you're buyers. So you could have talked me into it. But I also think in reality, based off the way our quarterback is playing right now, you're probably at least another year, right? And like we this is a fantastic foundational year, but in terms of true championship value, you're probably another year. Does it make sense to give up absurd value? You'd have to really sell me on the perfect player.
You'd have to be somebody that you would hope is more than a rental, right? And young enough that would make it.
Why? Why?
Well, because
why not have a rental?
Because I think this you're trying to establish a team that's going to be great for the next 5-6 years. And if you thought a rental would get you a Super Bowl, then go ahead. But if you get a guy and he's going to be a piece of yours for the next, I don't know, however many years, then maybe you think about it. But I don't know who that would be. Would that be another linebacker? Is there any of them out there that could fill in?
Well, let's go through the list of who did get traded and who was making trades. I'm just catching up here from our boy Adam Schefter.
Give me another Hufanga. I'll take another Hufanga. Now, if you want to clone somebody, clone that cat and put him in the Broncos.
The Saints trade offensive lineman Trevor Penning to the Chargers. Chargers all beat up in that department. A.J. Brown of the Eagles did not get traded. That's actually a story. Sauce Gardner was traded for 2 first-round draft picks to the Colts from the Jets. First of all,
Jalen Ramsey move, isn't it?
Jalen Ramsey, that is correct. When he was with the Jaguars, that's the value-ish that he got traded to the Rams, and then he got traded again.
Yeah, but he got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did. I'll just say this. On mediocre to bad teams, having a world-class corner is such a luxury item. You know, that's why it's great if you can get them because they're hard to find. But if you need to rebuild, you don't rebuild as a building block an elite corner. It is not a building block piece. So you trade them.
I'll counter argument, though. Broncos could have traded Pat Surtain. Pretty happy they didn't do that. I mean, whatever first rounders they could have got when they're in their rebuilding years, they held on to them, and now they got it, and now it's a key part of one of the best defenses in the NFL.
It's nice to have, but there was a minute there, there was more than a minute, where Surtain's best value would have been just what happened with Sauce Gardner. But we're through that part of the woods, thank God, because of Sean Payton and Bo Nix, number 1 and number 2.
There's making a move too soon and regretting it, although that means you just always draft picks. Eventually, those draft picks got to catch hold. You got to win games. Or there's just inactivity like the Rockies have done the last 3 or 4 years, and you just hold on to everybody, and then all of a sudden they all age out anyway, and you don't have anything.
You had no ownership leadership here for a minute. You had a general manager who could not figure out, George Payton, what to do at quarterback and coach. The Jets are in a pit of misery because Woody Johnson is a dope as far as I'm concerned. And they just keep doing dumb things there with the Jets.
Well,
and the Broncos were right there, guys. They were right there until the Walton Penner group took over.
Is Woody a dope for, is he too involved, or a dope for not hiring the right people and say, go do your job?
I would probably say
if anything,
yes.
he had the opposite. For a long time, he was uninvolved at all. He didn't live in the country.
Well, he was an ambassador
there's that.
Right. England, right?
What else is going on here? The Jets were trading everybody apparently today. They were shopping the whole kit and caboodle. By the way, another huge one, Quinnen Williams has been traded to the Cowboys. The Jets dealing him. So the Jets get rid of Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. I mean, 2 great players, Tyler.
Do you know the value on that one?
It was in exchange. Jets get a 2026 second-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick.
Oh, wow.
And defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. So the Jets today picked up 3 first-round picks over the next 2 years.
Well, now the Cowboys, that's part of the Micah Parsons deal. So factor that in when it's all said and done, what they use those picks on.
Meanwhile, the Saints, nothing on Olave. However, they did trade Rashid Shaheed to Seattle. And that really wasn't really for much. A 4th and a 5th round selection. That's the one you circle a little bit and say, why weren't the Broncos in on that one? If that could have been done, the Seahawks, who are doing really well offensively, and they're adding, why didn't the Broncos get in on that one? And don't forget, it was Adam Schefter on our airwaves that brought up Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, for a couple of mid-round picks, a 4th and a 5th, and a guy that's got about 500 yards on the season, he's got a couple touchdowns. That's a good football player, and I think that's the exact type of value that the Broncos should have been interested in trading for.
There's no way the Broncos would have been involved with this because it's in their own division, but Jacoby Myers is now with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's an ironic twist considering the Raiders just lost to the Jaguars this week, so he goes over to the Jags. Interesting for the Jags, who are probably looking to replace, unfortunately, Travis Hunter, who is on IR. So they're looking for a piece of the puzzle. Hopefully Travis comes back, but they needed to make a move in that direction, and so they've done that with Jacoby Myers. So that's not somebody the Broncos will have to worry about, but it doesn't appear the Raiders are all that interested in their tight end or the receivers because they rely on their running back and their tight end so much. That's kind of how they operate.
Jaguars' record?
5-4, I think.
Is that it? We can double check
Pretty sure.
that real quick. They are 5-3.
5-3.
5-3. Yeah. Let me just refresh to make sure they are 5-3. Doing pretty good. And where they sit in their division, they are, they're with the Colts, and the Colts lost, which is good. So they've already had a bye week, and the Colts haven't. So theoretically, they could be 1 game behind the Colts. They've got a game in hand if they can get a win there. So they're in second place in their division. They're definitely fighting for a playoff spot. It sucks for them that they've, this stuff with Travis is a thing.
Well, the Colts still got to go to Kansas City, too.
I'm watching Trevor Lawrence, guys. He's got talent. Ain't no doubt he's got talent. No doubt about it. But damn, does he make for such a talented guy, does he make some dumb mistakes?
Dude, there's a lot of good-looking people that are stupid.
Well, he may be one of them. And, they're hanging on. Their point differential is actually -8. Whoa. So, for them to have
and they're 5-3.
And they're 5-3. So they're winning a lot of close games. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 of their 5 wins are all by less than 1 score. So they're hanging in there. That being said, they lost of their 3 games, they lost 2 of their 3 were by 1 possessions as well. So they're playing a lot of close games there in Jacksonville.
Well, it looks like those teams that are Jacksonville, Denver's won a handful of 1-score games too, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it. With 4 fourth-quarter comebacks, and the Broncos will face the Jags. They'll host the Jags on December 21st. So there you go. And then they got a short week. Broncos have that Christmas Day too. Broncos have a couple of short weeks in here. By the way, does it seem crazy to you the Broncos have not had a bye week yet? This late into the season?
A little bit.
It's nice. It's wonderful when you can get to late in the season and you're already getting the guys back and healthy.
Right.
I'd rather have it at week 11 than week 4.
I've had week 4 before, and it sucks.
Sucks.
Too early.
It's brutal.
All right, fellas, trade deadline. What are we grading the Broncos? I'm just seeing if there's anything else here.
Anything.
Yeah, I'd be dripping in. We'd probably hear something by this point, right?
Yeah.
10 minutes after 2. Okay, looks like they just hold pat.
Oh, here you go.
There you go.
I think it's fine. I mean, there's not a ton of real big holes on this football team. You will continue to monitor the waiver wire all season long with tight ends, and maybe I don't know, maybe even free agent tight ends that are on the street. Other than that, though, you're okay.
Well, listen, the NBA and Major League Baseball, the trade deadline coming up is fun to watch because there's so many names thrown out there. There's usually a bunch of trades going on, and it's fun. This is the first time the NFL, since they started moving slowly but surely the trading deadline back further and further in the season, which I think is smart. This has actually been fun. I mean, you're actually been in, teams are in play. We talked about, are we buyers, not sellers this time around? It's it's smart that they finally moved it back.
And if you go back to the trades that have already been done earlier in the season, there were over 20 trades this year in the NFL.
Which is tons.
According to Mike Kliss, deadline is gone. Sources confirm Broncos did not make any deadline deals. They were in on a few players at a few positions, but the prices were deemed too high. Jets GM and former Broncos assistant GM, Darren Muji, didn't help with all those first-round picks he kept getting. He drove the market. I wonder, boy, am I curious about Shaheed. I'm really curious about that one. That, to me, is the most, it's a Saints guy. It's I bet that was interesting.
He's a Saints guy, but he's not necessarily a Payton Saints guy.
Yeah, but you touch the Saints, you have gold dust. If you're Sean Payton.
Yeah, I'd love to know if they were in it at all. I mean, at a fourth and a fifth, it doesn't seem like that should have been a breaking point. So I'm actually guessing they really were not in on it. I don't think you would lose the player over that type of value.
Well, it'll be curious to find out who and what. I'm just bringing him up because that's a name that was sort of rumored for the Broncos, and he did get traded.
You heard it on our show last week.
Yes, sir. Broncos didn't sell anybody either. They've been sellers year after year after year. They didn't do that either. So, even Baron Browning got sold last year in a playoff year.
Draymond Jones got traded from the Titans to the Ravens.
Yes. So he's bouncing around. And I guess that's it, man. I guess that's it. So the drama of the trade deadline.
So now you know what your team is. Here you go. Let's go.
So now what? Now what are fair expectations? This is your team. For good or for bad, nothing happened. George Payton is pretty particular about his picks.
He likes draft picks.
He likes draft picks. Giving away draft picks ain't his deal. He doesn't like doing it.
I wonder with the Surtain injury if that saved them from maybe making a move if they could have pulled off a third or a fourth pick for one of their corners.
Maybe, but
third or fourth round.
We didn't see any other corners get traded today aside from Sauce Gardner, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and I think they really liked the depth that they had there. So I'd be surprised if they're in the business of selling anything.
Yeah, you just got to look at the teams who were in the trades, the players that got traded, the positions that people needed, and you sort of go from there. And that's why I would say, guys, the only one that makes sense to me is Shaheed. That's it. That was realistic.
Dolphins said they did receive calls on Jalen Waddle, but they ended up deciding to stick with him.
I know. Make that make sense. I mean, I guess if you don't get your value, you don't get your value.
I heard that their asking price was.
I'll tell you how you make it sense.
Was way too high though. That they were asking if you take Waddle, then you got to take Tua, also, and teams were just saying no. That's way too.
It's asking too much.
It's asking too much.